Most people today live a part of their lives online. They share pictures, moments, updates, and small highlights of their daily experiences. It has almost become normal to document everything, from simple meals to major life events. So when you come across someone who never posts pictures, no selfies, no celebrations, no visible trace of their personal life, it stands out. It feels unusual, almost like they are invisible in a world that rewards visibility. But that silence is not random, and it is definitely not meaningless. In fact, psychology suggests that people who choose not to share their lives online are often revealing something much deeper about their personality, their mindset, and their emotional strength. At first glance, it is easy to assume that someone who does not post pictures might be shy, insecure, or disconnected. But the reality is often the opposite. Many of these individuals are making a conscious or unconscious decision to protect something important, their privacy. In a digital environment where attention is constantly being chased and measured through likes, comments, and views, choosing privacy becomes a powerful statement. It means they are not relying on external validation to feel good about themselves. They do not need to show their life to prove that it is meaningful. Instead of seeking approval from others, they build a sense of satisfaction internally. And that kind of self-validation is often a quiet sign of confidence. There is also a strong connection between this behavior and self-awareness. People who share less online often have a clearer understanding of who they are. They are less influenced by trends, comparisons, or the pressure to present a perfect version of themselves. They know their values, their priorities, and what truly matters to them. Because of that, they feel less need to constantly express or display their identity online. Their sense of self is already stable, so it doesn't need to be reinforced by outside reactions. While many people unconsciously shape their online presence based on what gets attention, these individuals are less interested in performing and more focused on being real. Another important layer to this is emotional security. Posting frequently, especially personal content like photos, can sometimes be driven by a need for reassurance or validation. But people who rarely post often show signs of a more secure type of confidence, one that does not depend on being seen or recognized. They don't need constant feedback to feel worthy. They don't measure their value based on how others respond to them online. Instead, they focus more on real-life experiences, personal growth, and meaningful connections outside the digital space. This kind of emotional balance allows them to stay grounded, even in an environment designed to constantly pull attention outward. There is also something different about how they think. Many people who stay quiet online tend to be more introspective. They think deeply about what they share and why they share it. For them, posting is not automatic, it is intentional. If something does not feel meaningful or necessary, they simply don't post it. This comes from an internal way of evaluating themselves, where their own standards matter more than public opinion. They are less interested in impressing others and more focused on staying true to themselves. Instead of engaging in surface-level interactions, they often prefer deeper conversations and more meaningful forms of connection. Another reason behind this behavior is their awareness of how social media really works. Many of them understand that what people post online is often just a highlight reel, not a full reality. They know how easily social media can create illusions, perfect moments, edited images, carefully chosen experiences that don't reflect the full picture. Because of this awareness, they choose not to fully participate in that cycle. They avoid constant comparison, which is known to affect self-esteem and mental health. By staying more private, they protect themselves from the pressure of measuring their life against others. They are not trying to compete in a space that is built on appearances. This choice to remain private can also be seen as a form of control. In a world where so much information is shared freely, deciding what to keep to yourself becomes a way of maintaining boundaries. These individuals often value control over their personal narrative. They decide what people get to see and what remains private. That sense of control can create a feeling of safety and stability, especially in an environment where oversharing is common. It allows them to live more freely, without the pressure of constantly documenting or explaining their lives. What is interesting is that their silence online does not mean their life is empty or less meaningful. In many cases, it is the opposite. They may be more focused on living in the moment rather than capturing it. They experience things fully, without the need to turn every moment into content. Their attention is directed toward real experiences, not how those experiences will appear to others. This can lead to a deeper sense of presence and satisfaction, something that is often lost when life is constantly viewed through a screen. Of course, this behavior can still be misunderstood. People might assume they are hiding something or that they are not social enough, but in reality, they are often just selective. They choose where to invest their energy, both emotionally and socially. Instead of spreading themselves thin across digital interactions, they may invest more in a smaller number of meaningful relationships. Their connections might not always be visible online, but that does not make them any less real. There is also an element of independence in this choice. When someone is not influenced by the need to post or be seen, they are less likely to be controlled by trends or expectations. They move at their own pace. They define their own standards. And that independence allows them to stay grounded in who they are, rather than constantly adapting to fit what is popular or accepted online. At a deeper level, this behavior reflects something important about human nature. Not everyone is wired to seek attention in the same way. Some people find more comfort in privacy, reflection, and internal validation. And in a world that often rewards visibility, choosing not to be constantly seen can actually require a strong sense of self. It means being comfortable with not being noticed all the time. It means finding value in your life without needing it to be confirmed by others. So the next time you notice someone who never posts their pictures online, it might be worth looking at it from a different perspective. Instead of assuming they are distant or insecure, consider that they may simply have a different relationship with attention, validation, and identity. They might be protecting their peace, maintaining their boundaries, and choosing to live more privately in a very public world. And maybe that is something many people are starting to realize, that not everything needs to be shared, that not every moment needs an audience, and that sometimes the strongest sense of confidence is the one that exists quietly, without needing to be displayed. Because at the end of the day, real confidence is not always loud. It doesn't always show up in pictures, posts, or public moments. Sometimes it shows up in what a person chooses not to share, in their ability to stay grounded without external validation, in their comfort with being unseen while still feeling completely secure in who they are.